Did you know? Manicaland almost became a part of Mozambique. In November 1890, this mineral-rich, tourist-friendly territory was on the verge of being claimed by Portugal. After centuries of trade with chiefs in the Manicaland region, the Portuguese had built sufficient rapport with the territory and intended to annex it to the Mozambican territories it had already conquered. But then entered Cecil Rhodes with the Cape to Cairo dream and with his intentions to open Rhodesia up to the sea. Now, Rhodes' intention after occupying Mashonaland was to secure an outlet on the Indian Ocean and to make his new territory economically viable. The colonist also wanted to cut off Portuguese ambitions to link Angola and Mozambique under the Pink Map dream. But to do this, he had to make concessions with the people of Manicaland, much like he had done with Lobengula in the worst. Inasmuch as the Rudd concession had granted the colonists access to most of Zimbabwe, it was almost null and void when it came to Manicaland, as Lobengula's dominion only extended to the Sabi River. On September 14, 1890, Rhodes's British South Africa Company, BSAC, sent its representative Archibald Coehorn to Chief Tendai Mutasa of the Manica people in a bid to take control of the land and to gain mineral rights from the Manicas. But the Portuguese would not have it. They had historical ties and treaties with the Manica people, which were over centuries old. And so to counter this British offense, on the 15th of November 1890, Major Paiva de Andrada and Manuel Antonio de Sousa Gouveia arrived at Mutasa's Crow at Bingaguru with an armed escort and forced the chief to renounce the BSAC treaty and fly the Portuguese flag. On the same day, Major Patrick William Forbes of the now Forbes Border Post and who was with the British South Africa Police Force arrived at the Mutasa Crow. He had with him a small patrol of 10 men and they formed a small army. They found Major de Andrada still in talks with Chief Mutasa, and in a bold move, Major Forbes arrested de Andrada, Gouveia, and other Portuguese representatives. The rest of the Portuguese escort dispersed, and Forbes had secured Manicaland for the BSAC without a single shot being fired. It did not end there. Forbes went on to occupy Masakwisi, which was the Portuguese headquarters in the region. He then began rapidly advancing towards the ultimate objective, the port of Beira on the east coast. But on November 29, 1890, Forbes was ordered by Archibald Coehorn, on instruction from Rhodes that is, to stop his advance and return to Masakwisi. The reason for this recall was simple: the Anglo-Portuguese modus vivendi of November 14. This temporary agreement was meant to avoid war between Britain and Portugal, as well as to help the Europeans protect their gains from the scramble for Africa. But the BSAC had already conquered Manicaland and would have an advantage in subsequent border negotiations, which ultimately resulted in Manicaland being officially assigned to the British sphere of influence in the Anglo-Portuguese Treaty of 1891. And that is how Manicaland came to be part of then Rhodesia and now Zimbabwe. Ultimately, this dramatic confrontation and subsequent agreements demonstrate the harsh reality for the scramble of Africa, that the boundaries and destiny of African territories were not decided by people who lived there, but by alliances and agreements negotiated in Europe, hundreds of kilometers away. Now, a quick one. If you are from Manicaland and you could rewind history to 1890 and choose the colonial empire you wanted, who would you choose between the British and the Portuguese? With that choice in mind, we come again to the end of this week in Zimbabwean history. Let me know any quirky historical and cultural facts about Zimbabwe that are not often told and that you would like me to explore. But in the meantime, do check out the other interesting tidbits on this channel and feel free to subscribe, share, comment, and like. Till next week, and goodbye.